That's exactly why they fired her from projects like Toy Story 5 for doing voiceover work, Pirates of the Caribbean remake, another untitled animated Pixar film, and a whole lot more. Firing of Zegler comes after Zegler created more issues behind the scenes. Disney is beginning to fail with their damage control efforts, and it's really not working at all to any degree. We already had a 70+% drop at the box office just a couple of days ago, which is very alarming for the Walt Disney Company.
Disney, you're gonna have to redo your film again, because this woman is a
movie that is now on pace to lose over $300 million for Disney after the Rachel Zegler.
After becoming one of the worst movies Disney has ever put out, Disney had no choice but to let Rachel Zegler go.
We already know that Disney got rid of Zegler from the entire studio, from the entirety of the Walt Disney Company, to no longer be associated with any production moving onwards.
But hold up. You thought she was just going to walk out quietly? Oh no, that's not Rachel. Sis is throwing a full-blown tantrum and refusing to leave peacefully. Stick around because you won't believe what she did next, and why Disney finally said, enough is enough, after just one box office flop. So here's the tea. Disney poured close to $300 million into producing and promoting this Snow White remake, only to end up with one of the biggest flops in their history. The movie had a disastrous 70% drop at the box office and got dragged all over social media.
We already know that they lost well over $300 million for this movie. As we speak, there is really nothing going on with this film when it comes to box office results. Everything is beginning to drop significantly. We already had a 70+% drop at the box office just a couple of days ago, which is very alarming for the Walt Disney Company.
One of the biggest reasons people are pointing fingers? Yep, Rachel Zegler herself. She was the lead actress and became the face of the chaos. And Disney didn't waste time cutting her from multiple upcoming projects.
Zegler, we already know that she is the main contributing aspect as to why this actual movie failed at the box office.
That includes Toy Story 5, Pirates of the Caribbean, and a few other Pixar films. She was scheduled to become a Disney regular. Now she's just regular. And guess what? Other studios like Warner Brothers and Paramount quietly started distancing themselves too. The girl's future is on thin ice. At this point, even indie projects are looking at her sideways. But the firing wasn't just about the movie bombing. Nah, this drama runs deeper. Behind the scenes, Disney was bleeding money from canceled appearances and lost contracts. One of the biggest blows? A Snow White-themed event where Rachel was supposed to perform and be the main attraction was canceled by Disney, and it cost Disney over $20 million. $20 million? Executives were reportedly fed up and said it's time to cut ties.
Firing of Zegler comes after Zegler created more issues behind the scenes toward the Disney executives claiming that they broke her contract deal by canceling all of her events dressed up as Snow White, where she was supposed to sing at places like Times Square, Las Vegas, Disneyland, and World, and so much more. The canceled events added up to a total of, get this, $20.1 million.
Now here's where it gets messy. You'd think she'd bow out gracefully, maybe lay low. Nope. Rachel went full PR mode, opening her metaphorical book of receipts, and started defending herself hard. She claimed the industry punishes women for having political opinions, and that female actors face backlash when they speak out. Sis pulled the feminism card real fast. And listen, she's not entirely wrong, but baby girl, this is not the hill to die on, especially after losing hundreds of millions.
Now, Zegler delivered the following. To be quite honest, I think this business can be very cruel for women wanting to pursue or by expressing themselves in the public. Far too often are actresses ridiculed for sharing a political opinion or their views on society, and I think that's the number one flaw.
She went even further, saying Hollywood is run by men, and it's hard for women to succeed unless they play the game quietly.
Rachel Zegler recently delivered the following. I think when you are a woman in this industry, you tend to be in a far worse situation than a man, since we all know this industry is still heavily run by the male demographic.
Which brings us to the now infamous moment where she dragged Donald Trump out of nowhere. Like, girl, what does Donald Trump have to do with Snow White? That's the kind of energy that got her trending for all the wrong reasons. And don't forget the whole Snow White rewrite. Rachel proudly stood by the decision to change the traditional love story and said the old version was outdated. Instead of a charming prince, they gave us Jonathan the Bandit. Yes, a bandit. Disney replaced royalty with a literal criminal, and Rachel defended it, calling it a bold feminist move. But who asked for that? The audience surely didn't.
Story for a powerful woman of what she needs to be. A woman that doesn't necessarily need a prince. It's why we decided to create a Jonathan type character as a bandit or this outlaw, and this character needed to be done instead.
Now let's talk about the obvious. The original Snow White is literally described as having skin as white as snow. So when they cast Rachel, who is Latina, it sparked debate. And did she stay quiet? Not even close. She clapped back, saying it made the character more relatable. Relatable to who, though? Because clearly, a whole lot of folks weren't relating to it at all.
Is doubling down on how we had to change the character's background. Obviously, she's talking about how Snow White needed to be called Snow White because she survived a blizzard, not because of her skin color, not because of her appearance. That was all changed by the Disney company.
But Rachel wasn't done. She started blasting critics who didn't appreciate the modern twist and whined about how hard it was to wear the costume and work long hours. Girl, welcome to the acting world. That's the job. You want to be a princess or not?
But what I find to be completely offensive are those that don't respect what it takes to play Snow White. Imagine sitting in a dress for 16 to 18 hours a day.
Then came her bold statement. Guys, read my lips, she said. I have no regrets about what I said. She was unapologetic, doubling down that challenging traditional portrayals of women in film was necessary. Okay, but maybe, just maybe, don't do that while crashing a multi-million-dollar franchise.
I hold no regrets on my previous thoughts and comments for this character.
Now, while Disney was watching their precious investment tank globally, with just $142 million earned after 2 weeks.
As of today, still worldwide, it is standing around $142 million.
Rachel was still out here acting like it was a blockbuster. Like, girl, what movie are you watching? On her social media, she and her team kept calling it the #1 movie in the world. #1 in what? Refund requests.
The best movie in the world. Even Rachel Zegler went on social media saying it's the #1 movie in the world on her Instagram.
Disney, desperate not to lose face, kept promoting the film like nothing was wrong. Meanwhile, other studios were getting ready to eat their lunch. Upcoming movies like Minecraft are already set to overshadow Snow White.
You have a Minecraft movie dropping in just a couple of days from now, which is going to plague over Snow White.
At this point, it's looking like the movie won't even last 6 weeks in theaters before they have to quietly dump it on Disney+.
I think that this movie won't last 6 weeks, 7 weeks, definitely not. You're gonna see this thing on Disney Plus in no time, and that's exactly why.
This flop is waking Disney up real fast. Word is, they're rethinking all their live-action remakes. Projects like Sword in the Stone and Hercules are being restructured, or worse, quietly canceled. All because Snow White turned into a full-on disaster. Every attempt to salvage the situation has failed. Executives are reportedly divided. Some still believe in Rachel and think she has potential.
Executives that are in full favor of Rachel Zegler, begging for Bob Iger to reverse this type of action against Zegler, since they believe that she is a true upcoming actress that holds potential.
Others are calling her difficult to work with and saying she's a PR nightmare. And honestly, after all this mess, can you blame them?
Most of the executives believe that she is not only difficult to work with, but poses as a great risk for wrecking the Disney image.
So the big question is Rachel Zegler done for good? Because let's be real, her career was just getting started, and now it's spiraling before it even took off. This is a warning shot to every young actor out there. Yes, have your voice, speak your truth, but be smart. There's a time and place. The public can be unforgiving, especially when millions are on the line. And let this be a lesson to the studios, too. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The classic Snow White worked for decades. Why go mess it up just to push a message that nobody was asking for?
Maybe not destroy a classic from my childhood and put an actress in there that not only hates the plot and the storyline of the movie she's in, but also seemingly hates Snow White, the character, herself.
Now look what happened. Disney's out millions, and Rachel's career is hanging by a thread. Well, Disney might already be planning to make Rachel cough up the $130 million it lost because of her. But tell me, did you see this coming? Like and comment your thoughts. See you in the next video.